Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. And before we get started with the forecast and breakdown, I'm just going to quickly talk about the VIP. Be very quick, just quickly give you guys a quick summary on how it was last week and what I sort of shared and the updates I sort of gave to the VIP members. Pretty much I got quite a few people asking like what the sort of profit is, how much you make last week. And again, you can't just go and base off if we made like 200 pips last week doesn't mean that we're going to make another 200 pips next week. You know, it's always subjective. Again, if you like the sort of way we sort of trade, just get a part of it. Again, the monthly price is not too expensive. You shouldn't even be trading if you can't afford the monthly price, really. That's how I think of it. So again, if you guys want to sort of be a part of it, jump in, see how if you like it. If you do, come and join the community, really. Pretty much I think to start of the week, price was sort of floating around about 18.49. We did have that gap open, so again I expected price to keep climbing up. I wasn't seeing price sort of do a retrace to fill the gap. I know a lot of people were trying to sell that, but I was saying that let the price go to at least 18.80 and see what happens then. We did have a setup where I expected price to sort of pull down after this little pump just prior. I think it was the day after. I think US session on Monday pushed up, and then Tuesday was sort of getting that pull down, tried to retrace back into 1848, and lo and behold, price did come down to 1850, and I think just missed us. Did we see it? Yep. Price came down just around about 1853. Our buy limits were around about 1852, but yeah, price did miss us, and that could have been a nice easy 100 pips, as you can see, from 1850 to 1860. Would have been a nice, good trade. But you can't catch them all. But as long as we have the right idea going in, I'm still happy with that, showing that the strategy is working. You just can't sort of. Sometimes again, a manual entry would have been good here, as you can see that over like a half an hour price was sort of consolidating, not pushing any lower. You could have entered manually with the SL below the previous low, but again, since I was away from the phone, I thought I might as well let the buy limit sort of hit. If they don't, it doesn't really matter, and you can see price ended up carrying higher. But other than that, price kept climbing up. And kept pushing up. So I was thinking that right, we should get an initial Z entry around this sell zone here, seeing what price does, and then if we have a nice drop, we could get a second entry. This is sort of a longer term outlook that I was giving to the VIPs. But pretty much price sort of came into our initial Z entry, but with the timing and with everything and the experience I've sort of picked up over trading gold, I knew that price may go and attack these two wicks here and keep pushing higher with the strength of this impulse. So I just waited, seeing if 83 would get hit, and then we came up to CPI. Pretty much CPI was there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the sell around about these highs just to get a retracement if you can. So entries were around about 80 and 81. SL was at 86, and then CPI came in and gave us that nice little push down that we had, and that was a nice 100 pip trade there that we managed to catch. But it was a bit weird with the fundamentals going on. I couldn't risk sort of keeping that. Holding that. So I did mention that pretty much the same entry yesterday, which is for tomorrow. So I told the VIP members to take 50% of your position just in case it does retrace. And what happened the next day? Price ended up retracing. I thought, it could be a valid entry. The sell zone's there. Let's take the entry again. I already took 50% of the profits, but unfortunately this ended up getting stopped out and price did end up pushing higher. So on Friday it was crazy because price did just keep pumping. A lot of people were selling here, and I did have a few messages from people that, what's your outlook? Is it going to sort of turn around? And I'm like, why? Because for the VIP, we're all out of our trades. And again, I'll get into the trade we took on Friday, but we're all out of our trades. But a lot of people just keep removing SLs and expect prices are going to, turn back around. I'll give you a quick example on why you shouldn't do this, because here's one example, right? Going back to last year, actually no, this was in March this year actually. Going back to March this year, what did we have? We had price sort of pump up towards this area, right? A lot of people would have been, it's a nice time to sell, break towards this low. What ended up happening? price kept climbing up, 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 up. And if people kept moving their SLs, when are they going to close this trade? You know, again, if price pushed up, like say, well, that's quite a lot of pips to be honest. 980 USD, yeah, so it's around about 400 or 500 pips, and it keeps climbing to 1,000 pips. You don't know when you're going to close it. And again, a lot of people did the same thing here, where they're selling, but they're moving their SLs. I'm like, when are you planning on closing it? What if it doesn't come down? So this is exactly why you need to sort of stick to a plan. And I've learned this the hard way. I've taught quite a few people over the years that this shouldn't be the way. As you can see, I'm trying to look for a HomePod Mini and look for an Apple Watch. Sorry about that. But yeah, so again, try to keep your SL. Try to basically, you're moving the SL so it doesn't get hit. Isn't that the point of the SL, to get hit? To basically take you out the trade if it doesn't match. And that's why I send SLs with my trades, because it sort of gives you an idea that, okay, if it hits the SL, right, time for the next setup, wait, come back, and you likely make that money back again, which is exactly what we did on Friday. So we did enter that that sell in the morning. We got minus 40 pips, right? So it's like, okay, let's wait for a US session, see what happens. Otherwise, I could have still held that trade without an SL, and it would have been minus 100 pips, minus 200 pips, if you've seen what happened happened yesterday. But again, since I was at the trade, I can refresh. So what did I do? I waited to the highest point possible, which is around about 1918. Again, why? Because we have a manipulation zone here. It matches on my sell zone again. So in 1918, we have a big SL, but I was like, okay, let me give it a try with a 50, 60 pip SL. This went with structure as well. And then, boom, when price tagged at that 1918 area around about US session, perfect timing for volume, for retracements, we had an instant 50 pips, and then we had a nice 100 pip drop, as you can see, from 1918 to 1908. Boom, that 40 pips that we took a loss on, we already made 100 pips back, which means that we are plus 60 pips profit. There you go. So that's how we sort of make the move. And again, price sort of continued higher, so we couldn't. Again, I said take some profits here, secure entry. We're done for the week, pretty much. There we go. So again, it's all about the updates, because someone could send an entry and then show that, wow, 5 pips, and then they have a big lot size, and it looks like they're making so much money, but then 10 minutes later the price is reversed. But this is where you get that sort of transparency, really. But yeah, pretty much that's the sort of breakdown on the VIP. Don't want to hold you too long. Let's go to the breakdown of the trades. Pretty much we've broke down the trades, really, so I think we can potentially get into the forecast. So again, the link's in the description if you want to get into VIP. I can see the VIP group is growing, so we're getting a community soon. So yeah, that's all there. Let's carry on. So the forecast for next week, again, we have those fundamentals which are playing a part. We are in a sell zone, but would we be selling straight off the bat on a Monday? I don't think so. The price could easily continue higher, taking out these highs without even slowing down. We've seen it once before on the left here, where prices bounced off the same exact area. As you can see, prices then pushed all the way back up. If we go on to the daily time frame, let's have a look at what we're looking at something here, right? 2073, these highs, right? We're sort of bouncing off this area. Could price attack the highs? We don't know. It depends how the fundamentals sort of play out as well. But again, you don't want to sort of just jump in, start selling, thinking this thing is going down, because right now, as you can see, it looks like it's just going to keep climbing. So I'll give you a sort of scenario what I'm looking for a bearish sort of pattern. Pretty much around about this, in my experience. If price wants to sort of start slowing down, you should see some sort of support being formed, right? And in that, it doesn't mean that it's going to keep falling. What you could get is you could get some support being formed, a retrace. You could get another high being formed just to stop some people out. If we start, making some double bottoms, then you could be like, okay, price is slowing down. It's worth a try. Because what could happen is price goes back up and then decides to make a breakout, right? And that's your sort of consolidation breakout. But it doesn't matter because you had a tighter stop loss. It was worth the try. So something like this could be possible around this zone. If we can get that sell around from there, SLs could be a lot tighter. Something like this, and you can move the entry to the top of that right arrow there. And then looking at, again, that is a 90 pip SL, but we're obviously going to tighten it based on structure. But pretty much this is what you want to look for if price wants to turn around, if we want to get some sort of retracement and then in next week, because I could see price sort of having an effect around this area here, just because of we have an impulse pushing down, hasn't sort of come back into that area to retest, so we could see something there on the structural. On the other hand, if we want to sort of stay with the momentum here and we don't see anything, you'd likely want to see some sort of pushes higher for some retraces to keep buying higher, just keep sort of, again, I know it's sort of too high to buy, but let's see what happened on the left over here when price sort of had that big impulse back in March. You can see that price sort of had a retrace, pushed up, retraced, and then had a consolidation here. No lows are sort of broken. Will be safe to sort of give it another buy, and then we had a nice retrace there. But well, again, so you could end up seeing something like this where price sort of consolidates and keeps pushing higher. That could happen here. It doesn't have to give a full retrace every time. A lot of people think that with gold, the faster it pushes up, the faster it comes down, and that could have been the case around this area here, where you can see that price sort of pushed up. If it wanted to push down, it would have done so, but what ended up happening is price ended up pushing high. I would have got taken out here, SL above the high, and then there you go. The bias has changed, right? You're not holding that sell, you're out, it's gone to a buying momentum now. So pretty much it's a weird sort of video. I wanted to sort of, hit home for some people who want to improve on their trading, and pretty much hope this really helps. Leave a comment if it did. Again, don't forget to like. All the links in the description, and pretty much I'll put it on the thumbnail on what I'm sort of looking for. But if you want to see a sell, you want to sort of start getting that sell momentum other than sell structure sort of formed. Other than that, yeah, you could see price keep climbing higher. But let's see how the next week goes. Again, it's been always from EEFX. Peace out.